Anthony, not a lot of fight to break down and evaluate, but I mean, we all knew this was going to be a slugfest. But ever in your mind did you come in thinking I can get this thing done in 13 seconds?
Not 13 seconds, but I knew I would knock him out eventually, and I had pictured it for a while now. And I told my coach this morning, I said, if I knock Glover out, it's going to be by uppercut, and it worked out.
What was it about the uppercut that you thought would work?
I don't really study fights too much. I might watch 1 or 2 rounds of maybe 2 fights, and I can tell what a person likes to do. And I did that, and I just knew if I hit him with an uppercut, it would be lights out.
So interesting because obviously, you're a dangerous knockout artist, but you went out of your way all week to be respectful of Glover amidst everything that was going on with all the back and forth in the main event. I noticed you tonight even clapping for him during his introduction. Why are you going out of your way to make it such a point that sportsmanship is a key of this when it's built around bad blood and rivalry?
I didn't go out of my way. That's just who I am. I respect fighters, man. We go out there, we put our life on the line, honestly, because if we get hit the wrong way, it can be a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? So, yeah, every time they introduce a fighter, I always clap for them because they put in just as much hard work as I did. So I just like to show them respect.
And I think people feel you're the natural #1 contender, but you made it a point to call it out. How do you feel that fight goes this time?
A lot different, DC's a hell of a champion. It's an honor to fight him again, I'm looking forward to it.
Rumble, you said, you have a lot of respect for fighters, and so I wondered if you got a chance to look at the main event, and did you have respect for the effort that those 2 guys put out and what they did in putting on that kind of fight?
Yeah, they showed this thing working? Okay. They showed a tremendous amount of heart on both parts, and I really like how at the end of the fight, Nate helped Conor up, and they gave each other a hug, and I'm like, okay, they do have respect for each other. And I was very impressed with Conor. I mean, he showed so much heart. We all know Nate is a grinder. He can go. But tonight, Conor showed that he isn't just all talk. He showed that he has a lot of heart, too.
And then to follow up on that, just one thing. There are some people on the internet are making the point that Conor ran. And you as a striker, I wonder if, when you look at what he did, kind of the reset area, would you describe that as running?
As running, I see it as, like you said, just moving around, resetting, and he didn't want to really get in a slugfest because he did that the first time they fought and he gassed out. So he played it right, he played it smart and took his time and stayed patient. So Conor knew what he was doing.
Anthony, how obviously you took no damage tonight. How quickly would you like to make that fight with Daniel Cormier if it's going to be offered to you? Could we do it just as soon as possible in your mind?
Hopefully it's in New York. I want to be a part of history in New York, man. I really want to fight in Madison Square Garden. That's where all of the legends of fighting, not mixed martial arts, but just fighting in general, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, all the greats have fought there. So I want to be a part of that history.
I know you've been clicking really well with your camp, the Black Zillions, your grappling coach, Neil Melanson. In preparation for that DC rematch, is there anything even just that you would feel like you'd need to do in your camp, or is it just more of the same and anticipating a better outcome this second time?
Just keep training hard. Keep doing what I'm doing because so far it's working. Just grind. That's what I need to do, just keep grinding and grinding and grinding and just push myself damn near to the point of exhausted. I just, to the point where I can barely walk anymore. I want to push myself that hard.
Anthony, last time you fought Daniel, it was actually on short notice for him. He stepped in for John when he couldn't fight. Given that you're likely going to be the #1 contender, how much more do you think a full training camp is really going to benefit you against Daniel?
It's going to be great. I'm just looking forward to it again. This is something that I've wanted for a long time. I only want to compete against the best, and so far, since I've been back in the UFC, that's what I've been doing. And this is my second chance at a title, so I really want to go out there and I want to dominate. Daniel, he said that when we're in the cage, it's Daniel time or something like that, which is fine. It can be Daniel time, but at the end of the night, it's going to be my time.
And when you fought Daniel the first time, you clipped him pretty good. I mean, you sent him down, and you still weren't able to finish the fight. Tonight was a completely different story. Can you compare, when you're able to land your biggest shot and finish the fight, as opposed to when you can, and the frustration that you endure not being able to finish with a big shot?
Daniel took a hell of a shot and he took it like a man. You know what I'm saying? And I was very surprised that he got back up because, usually I hit you one time and you drop and you don't get back up unless somebody's helping you up. But Daniel hopped right back up and kept it moving. So hopefully I don't get as frustrated next time and I just keep landing big shots on him and eventually put him out.
Hey, Rumble. So, question for you. I'm not sure if you're an everything happens for a reason kind of person, but I think you are, right? Any regrets, though, not just starting at 205 a long time ago? You knew I was going to ask this. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to think you fought 170.
It does not surprise me that you, of all people, asked me that. No, like you said, everything happens for a reason. I tell people all the time that if I would have fought at 185 or 205, people probably wouldn't know who I am. Because 185, you had Anderson, he was killing people. Chuck Liddell was knocking people's heads off left and right. And Randy Couture was around. They had monsters at each weight class. I was too green. I was too new to the game. I didn't have a chance at 85 or 205. And thank God I did some good things at 170 and some bad things at 170. And now a lot of people know who I am. And now, I'm fighting at 205 where I belong because I'm a lot smarter than I was when I was fighting at 170. Dropping from 210 to 170 back then was stupid. That's just what it was. I was immature. I didn't know the game. I thought that I had the wrestler's mentality. You lose as much weight as you can, you'll be the bigger, faster, stronger guy. And that's wrestling. It's not the same mentality for fighting. Wrestling, you got, I think, 3-2-2, 3-minute round, the first round, the last two are 2-minute rounds. It's a big difference, 5-5-5. You know what I mean? So, but I don't regret anything at 170 at all.
And my other question to you is, speaking about experience, I think it's that the heavyweight division is has the oldest average age. But, the guys have said there about it, even though people are so dangerous and they can knock you out with one punch, the intelligence is there and you can go longer. So how long do you think you could keep going? Obviously, when you only have a 13-second fight, you don't take any damage. But how much longer do you think you could keep going?
Until my body says stop. Or until the day I really get bored with the sport, you know what I mean? Or just my training partners really start beating me up. That's about the only time I'm really going to call it quits. But you just never know, really, because I also don't want to be punch drunk. We take a lot of headshots in this game, and I want to continue being smart.
And for the things that were going on outside of the octagon before this fight, do you feel a certain sort of weight lifted off you now that you got this part done and you can go back to focusing on some other things if they were still bothering you?
Oh, I got the things. The reason why I pushed the fight back, that's all handled and everything's all good. I just needed a week, 2 weeks just to get it situated, and so I can get even myself mentally, prepared. Because if they hadn't, agreed to push the fight back mentally, I was done. I was so burnt out. But I'm glad everything worked out, and I want to thank the UFC for allowing me to push the fight back. And I mean, this was a hell of a card. Everybody they pumped up UFC 200 so much. I think this one right here made UFC 200 look like trash.
All right. Well, congratulations, Rebel.
Hey, Anthony, apologizes. Someone's already asked this, but when they showed Cormier on the big screen, there was a multitude of boos. And I don't know if you saw this, and if you did, were you surprised by that?
No. I mean, this is life. You're going to have your haters no matter what. You do good, people are going to hate on you. I mean, people, they look forward to you. People look to hate on somebody, so it doesn't surprise me. You know, and the only reason people boo him is because he didn't beat John Jones. You know what I mean? And that's the only reason. And if they would have fought and he beat John, they'll be cheering for him. But you know, this game is wicked.
Hey, Anthony, congratulations. Are you able to shed any light as to why you had to postpone the fight back in July?
Just dealing with family stuff.
Okay.
That's it. You know, and I don't want to put, you know, family business with.
But it's all good
You
now?
know, yeah, everything's great. I
Okay.
wouldn't be here if it wasn't. Trust me.
Are you at all worried, since John Jones and his team seem to be confident that their situation is going to be resolved, that he might leapfrog you and get the shot first?
Nope, not at all. Daniel is beyond that. I'm beyond it. You know, Daniel wants to fight me, and I want to fight him. As far as John, he can sit back and wait. That's just what it is right now. And that's nothing against him, but that's just what's going to happen.
Have you been assured that that won't happen from the UFC?
From Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel said, you know, he wants to fight me. He said he's not worried about John. We're just not focused on it. For what? Until he's back, what's the point of even having a conversation about him?
Have you thought about trademarking Humble Rumble?
No.
It's a good moniker.
Yeah, I like it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
You're good.
Thank you, guys.